Hello, he said us, and welcome. I'm making another follow-up video to a second channel video that was made today that has a little bit of feathers ruffled, I guess is a light way to say it. There are some people who have watched the most recent Green is Not Nick video who aren't very happy with things that I said in the video or things I assumed. If you watched the video, it was about this viral video on TikTok of this lady who got upset on an airplane and was saying that there was someone in the back of the plane who wasn't real. And I made the assumption that she was drunk or she was under the influence of alcohol. And a lot of people said in the comments that they felt like it was much more, to them, it felt like much more of a mental health episode. And this lady was clearly unwell. And I think that was the general sentiment, was that it felt like I was casting this blanket on her where I was saying she's drunk and crazy and she's being a nuisance. And a lot of people don't feel like that's the case. A lot of people feel like it's unfair to make that assessment because it very likely seems like she's having a mental health episode and she's unwell. And so that doesn't really feel like a fair assessment. And I would say I didn't look into enough of the people in the comments who were talking about the mental health thing because I think it was clouded by just how chaotic the video is, and with her being like, that person's not real, and everyone like looking around, that's like what people are going to comment about, obviously. And I made a lot of comments about what I thought the cause for it was, and I think that there's a very good chance that she does have mental problems. Now, there are people who still agreed with the original take, that it seemed like she was slurring her words and she was using alcohol, and I think that is still like what my initial take from it was, but I don't think it would be crazy at all to say that this could be a mental health episode, and in that case, I hope she's better. I hope she gets better, and I don't think it would have been the right call for me to make. Now, because this is so popular, I have a feeling we're going to hear more, at least from her side of it at some point, especially if this is a mental health episode. I am sure we are going to hear from American Airlines or from herself that that's the case. I guess my general sentiment is that a lot of people are upset because I threw that sort of like assumption on her, called her a white woman, rich white woman, this and that. And yeah, I think I was a little bit harsh in that category. I think I probably should have laid off of the drunk thing because the mental health thing wasn't something that initially made sense to me. And I think it makes more sense talking about the hallucinations and if she might be seeing someone in the back. But I guess my final consensus on this, and I'm going to wait to make a change to the second channel video depending on what information comes out. I think if I'm very wrong, I'm either going to take that video down and make a new one or make an updated video. For now, I'm just going to wait another day and see if the story changes anymore. My general sentiment over the whole thing is we can always say in the cards that the mental health thing could be the thing, but I think there are a lot of people who are kind of really banking on diagnosing this woman themselves and believing that she has a mental health issue and using that to say that, like, I'm being rude by saying she's a nuisance and this or that. I fully understand that. At the same time, I don't think we should be diagnosing anyone with mental health issues. I think it's okay to be like, these are possibilities, and I'm very open to these being possibilities, but I think as it goes with any mental health issue for anybody, it is not your fault when these things happen, but it is your responsibility to not put yourself in positions where you could be harming others or scaring others. And although this could be completely not this woman's fault, I want to wait for that information to come out. At the same time, whether she's panicking and having an episode or if, she is under the influence, it is her and the people around her's responsibility to make sure that these issues are known to the people on the plane and that there are safety measures put in place to make sure that something like this doesn't happen. Because I think if this does end up being the case, there must have been a trigger to cause that kind of reaction. And I guess that's what kind of makes me feel less like it's likely that that might be the case. At the same time, I'm not an expert, so I do not think I am worth listening to about diagnosing this person with anything because I don't want to even diagnose them with being drunk. I think that's just like a theory I would throw out there, regardless of whatever it is her responsibility with children and people who have fears of flying and people who, basically everyone on that flight. It is your responsibility to make sure that you're not in a situation where you're going to put a lot of people in genuine fear. And although it's not your fault if those things happen, I think that the airplane would have a better plan of how to handle all of this if these things were known and prepared. Sometimes that's not the case, and sometimes mental health things happen that for the first time and there's no way to prepare for that. And in that case, it's not her fault. You know, these things happen, and you know, even though it was in a situation that was potentially dangerous, I think, you know, that's a conversation we need to have if that's the case. For now, I think the drunk thing probably isn't a great idea for me to like put on the whole situation. I think that was just my initial belief. But as more information comes out, I'm going to keep my eye on it and see what happens. But yeah, I think for all of it, I think we should just take a step back. Stop. We don't want to assume anything about these people that we don't know. In this short ass clip, it's like 30 seconds. We really don't know. The information on this thing is like so skewed because there's so many people weighing in on conspiracies and saying that certain things happened. Yeah, I think I understand where people are coming from. I'm going to wait and see if this seems like a thing where I need to, you know, come back and fix my statement on it. But again, I'm covering the internet news stories as I see them from my perspective. I don't want to claim anything's truth. I don't feel like anyone else should. But at the same time, I think I could have been lighter on her. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. If you think that was such a bad take that I need to take the whole thing down, let me know why you think so. And I would love to read everyone's thoughts on it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for understanding. And yeah, I guess that's my opinion for now. I want to read a little bit more and see what else people think. But let me know. Let's do it. See ya.